Pat's wife, Danielle, and his Uncle Mark. Super happy that they could come. Suck at public speaking, so I hope I can get through this. I just want to say I started playing with Pats in BC when we were just two noobs who farmed gold and did dailies at max level because we didn't know how to do raids. And we spent countless hours together. Pats would do just about anything in the game as long as he could do it with a friend. I think that if I told him I was working on an achievement to count all the cobblestones in Stormwind, he'd be sitting right next to me counting them. Pat's had a deep love and care for our guild and the people in it. He's helped each and every one of us at one time or another. He wanted nothing more than to lead us to victory and for us to feel the pride of the job well done by working as a team. Hello. This was so much more than a game to Pat's. At times it was his lifeline. He endured so much tragedy and illness in the short time he was here that he truly needed this escape. He told me this many times. He was in so much pain after losing his daughter, and I knew when he was having extra hard time missing her because he would be playing his shaman that he had named after Rachel and his granddaughter Brooke. He would tell me he wasn't supposed to play that tune and that it was stupid because he didn't want to feel those feelings. I'm glad that we could all be here for him and give him a purpose when sometimes he felt like he didn't have one. I received many messages from people telling me how much Pat's meant to them. I hope you can see them all now and know how incredible we thought he was and how much we're going to miss him. To Pats, I can't believe you left me here with these knuckleheads. We'll never get you your Lich King sword or finish doing our Mage Tower challenges together. You won't ever get a chance to steal the invincible mount out of my hands by rolling higher than me and then giving me the mount anyway, which I know you would have done. And you won't ever get to complete your plus 15 mythic key, and it won't have anyone to tease relentlessly. Just for that, Pats, I'm going to find a way to bring a giant bag full of costumes with me when I leave this earth, and they're all going on you. I love you, and I'll miss you more than I can ever say. And now I'm going to hand it over to Nothing.
Again, I want to thank all you guys for coming here. It's really wonderful to see all these people that he's met in the game, not just in the guild, but through doing raids and dungeons and all that kind of stuff. And it's really important to have his family here too, so they can be part of our family, because that's what we all are. For many of this week has been filled with sadness and loss and an emptiness that can't be filled. I've tried to keep myself busy for most of the days and have been able to put aside my morning for a short time, but inevitably, whenever I stop for a few moments or when I log into the game, my tears and grief return. Some of you may be experiencing something similar, and some of you may even have been surprised to find yourself affected so deeply. Perhaps our friends and families in the real world don't understand how we can mourn for someone we've never met, but Pat's had a huge personality and a huge heart, and we've spent time with him, sometimes more than what we've spent with our real life friends and family, and we've worked towards common goals, and we've shared one of the most important things in his life. He loved this game, and he loved playing with each of you. So it doesn't matter if we knew him for several years or only a few months in real life or just through the game. He touched all of us in different ways. Behind the scenes, Pats was dedicated to this guild and his raid team. He invested so much of his time and energy to make sure the guild bank was stocked with flasks and herbs and fish and bacon and runes and potions. He gave everything he could to us, and he came to raid at least 3 nights a week, even when he wasn't feeling well or he'd had a bad day of seizures. He would help anyone with anything they needed, whether it was with leveling, mythic keys, weekly quests, dungeon runs, gear, even gold. Pats also took his role as raid leader very seriously. He watched the videos, he took notes. Some of you may have even heard him shuffling papers as he explained the fights to make sure he had the right information to tell us. He ran the raids with other groups first, so he would know the fights for us. He listened to comments and complaints. He probably received more whispers during a raid than any other time in the game, and he always took what people had to say into consideration. He consulted with more experienced players to try to figure out the best way for our team, with our strengths and our capabilities, to progress, and asked for the other raid leaders' opinions. He hated kicking people from the group, and he would only do it if it was absolutely necessary, but he was loyal to us, and he valued our loyalty above all else. Anyone who ever raided with him heard him call himself a jerk or an asshole or mean, but we all know there was nothing further from the truth. He didn't believe in calling people out or in being mean for the sake of being mean, and he wouldn't tolerate it if anyone was. If a serious issue arose, he would deal with it directly and privately with that person. And as frustrating as it may have been to wipe time after time, he never gave up on us, and he only encouraged us to do better. Sure, there was times when he called out mistakes, but it wasn't to place blame or point fingers or make anyone feel bad. It was to say, hey, I know you can do better. He also knew when to say fuck it, to just break the tension and regroup. First, he made grills jump off platforms. Then he made rolls roll into bosses. He offered gold to anyone who could stay alive or to change his toon's name to Jetspan or whatever, even though he knew it was never going to happen. I think the reason all of us came back week after week, and even some of you pugs, was because he cared more about us as people than he did about the achievement. This is what made Pats not only a great guild member and raid leader, but a great friend as well, and I will miss him dearly. When I was still trying, so before I ask if anyone wants to share their thoughts or say a few words, I'll just share a story that some of you may already know, but I think it exemplifies the kind of person that Pats was. When I was still trying to finish the Pathfinder achievement so I could get my flying, Pats helped me quest in Suramar. And one Saturday, he flew me around all day so I could pick up those ancient mana crystals, mana, however you say it. I don't play ranged or whatever caster, so I don't know what it is. So he helped me pick them up. And he helped me with those horrible Suramar City quests where like everyone just beat your face in. And I told him that as soon as I could fly, I would fly him around wherever he wanted. And I asked him how he got that 2-person mount. And he told me that you could buy them, but that they were like some huge astronomical amount of gold that, I'm really cheap, so I wasn't about to buy it myself. So a little while later, I got my flying achievement, and here comes Pats opening up trade, giving me a sandstone drake. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, sandstone drake. I told him I would give him the gold for it, but he wouldn't take it. And then a little while later, we were doing a bunch of dungeon runs, and I broke out my drake, and I flew him. It was either to like the next dungeon or the nearest flight path. I can't remember. And as we're flying, he asked me if I was DCing because he wasn't moving. And I told him, no, I'm still flying. I don't know what the problem happens to be. Well, after a few more seconds, he fell off the mount and plummeted to his death. He maintained that it was my fault, and I don't know why, but after that, he never wanted another ride from me. So thus ended my career with Uber. So I'm going to ask now if anybody wants to share any thoughts or stories or anything, that you can come up here. And it's cool if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to. You can always write it out later or whatever, but if anyone wants to say anything, please come and share.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? I know I'm not part of your guild, but I was part of your group, and I was a friend of him. How I know him and how I started to know him was that I raided with him on some of the raids we used to put together, and he likes how to raid, and then you guys took me to your raids too, and I like the way he rated and stuff like that. And I just keep coming, to see and be with you guys and try to play with you guys as much as possible. I know that my 2 days off were Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we kind of do keys basically most of the day with him. When I asked him if he wanted to do keys, of course. And so I had a good time, and I mean I'm very sorry that this happened. Um, so if you guys need anything or whatever, I'm here to help out. Just like he probably was gonna be there for me too when I needed help. Thank you.
Hey guys, you guys probably know me as Cookie. If you guys want to know how to pronounce my name, it's Subotai. One of my favorite things about Pats was that he never quite figured this one out, and I just thought that was just one of just those charms that he had. As nothing said before, when I first joined a pug with you guys, he just said, "Hey, I'm just a massive asshole, just so you know." But that was so wrong. He was just the sweetest guy. I always felt so welcome. Every time I came to the group, he would always just seem really happy to see me. I thought he had a great leader, and personally, I've had some struggles, and every week, if nothing else, I always could look over to you guys and Pat especially, saying, hey, here's a happy part of the week. No matter what's going on in real life, I could always count on going to see Pat and having him explain things and just have a great attitude. No matter what happened, he was just so happy to be with you guys, and it's just something you just don't run into every day. I was pugging pretty often, and you just don't run into people like Pat's in this game very often anymore, and it's just so tragic just not to have him around anymore, because he's just so great. You guys have always been a step and a half ahead of my group, and I lead a small guild not unlike yours, and I always liked coming to you guys as well, because I thought Pat was just so great at explaining things in such a concise way, so positive, and I've tried to model the way I lead raids after the way Pat was leading your raid, just because I thought it was just so inspiring, just the way everyone just seemed so happy to be playing for him, and he was very obviously playing for you guys, and as the other guy said, if you guys need anything, I'm around. Thanks for letting me come.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Cleo. Of course, I hardly ever talk, but Paso still always kind of teased me about that. I used to always type, and he was a guy that's very patient while I kind of type things out versus talking. I just don't like to talk. I just like to focus on what I'm doing. But Pat and I ran for a long time. I can remember back in the day when Pat and I used to actually lead the raid, and then Pat came on, and then we started co-leading the raid, and we did a lot of head banging back then. Of course, care for the guild and trying to get things done. But I mean, he would always go that extra mile to help everybody out. Really appreciate all the efforts that he's done, all the things that he's done for the guild. Over time, I can see that this guild has progressed in rating, and I think it's all due to Pat, willing to stick it out, get people in to help the guild and all those various kind of things of that nature. And also, the tales of a great leader is someone who can sit back and be patient and also listen to all those people that are involved. Not to, stomp his foot, get mad, and just kill the raid and all those kind of things of that nature. So all those things have been very appreciative. And I'll end my discussion by saying I've seen only 3 people stand up in this guild to talk about Pats. So when I stop talking, my assumption is that more than me, Kay, and nothing are going to get up here and say something. So I will be looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Hey guys, it's Anagen. All I wanted to say is I remember the first time I raided with you guys, best time of my life. Pats was a great guild leader, or raid leader. He had an awesome personality. He made everything fun. And if it wasn't for him inviting me to that pub one time, I wouldn't have met all of you guys, all of you wonderful people. He helped me level to 110 on my priest, and he helped me raid with you guys. And I'm very heartbroken.
Been a raider. Some of you have probably seen my characters around. I know Christine and Pats have definitely had to deal with me for a few years now. Like I said, I'm not much of a raider, but I did like to joke around, and joking around with Pats was fun. Personally ruining the word beautiful for him to where he would never say it again with Christine's help was probably one of my highlights with joking around with him. But it just kind of hit me out of nowhere. I wasn't aware with a lot of the issues he was going through, and seeing him pass on, I'm sorry to see that. Don't really have much to say other than I will miss him just like I miss Brias, and he was a great guy.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I've been in this guild for, I don't know, I want to say maybe almost a year now. My first time raiding with you guys in a guild group was probably the first time I didn't get asked to not come back. I've actually been playing this game since I was back in vanilla, since I was in the 3rd or 4th grade, and I never could really understand raiding, and most raid leaders aren't very patient to teach someone who has no clue what's going on. But I remember my very first raid with this group. I was actually overseas at the time in Kuwait. It was like 5 in the morning for me. It would have been about 5 in the morning, maybe closer to 6, but I remember going through Tomb of Sargeras for the very first time, and that being my very first experience with an actual guild that liked to communicate, like to break things down instead of just, oh, if you don't know, you're an ass and you suck, you should leave. But Pats was great at that. He always liked to break things down, give everyone a very good explanation. Like the last raid we had, or 2 raids actually before that, I actually brought my girlfriend to come into our group with us, and he was very good at explaining everything to her. She was just like me, never could find a group really that would stick around with. Didn't keep a lot of pressure on someone who was new and didn't know a lot. But I've been doing this with you guys for a couple of weeks now straight, and it's been a great time getting to know all of you. And it really sucks that Pat's gone. You know, I was starting to get to know him a lot better, because he did, like my first time too, he said, if you don't know me, I'm an asshole, but the more you get to know him, the more you realize he's just the best. He likes to joke, he likes to have fun. You know, he'll bet whoever's the last person to die gets 5K gold or anything like that. He likes to keep it and try and make fun. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
My turn, not being a very good public speaker either, so pardon me here as I go. But as he said, he always liked to say he was an asshole, but we all knew deep down he was not. And with my personality, he knew he could feed me more than other people, so he always loved saying how bad I was, which was the truth, so that was part of it. So that was the best part, is we just gave each other a hard time and went back and forth. We would threaten to tell him scores of games, he'd start yelling at me, just a good time. Raids were always fun. The dungeons with just the 5 people, those were some of the best nights. So it's just sad to see him go. Wish he was back. Thanks.
Okay, what if no one else wants to share anything? I think we should just have a moment of silence to remember him in all his glory and send our love and prayers to his wife and family and just keep him in our hearts and our memories.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, could I say something?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Again, like everybody else, I'm not good at public speaking. And I don't know if I'll be able to get through this, but I'm gonna try. I always knew what this game meant to him and how dedicated he was, but until tonight, now I know. This is all he talked about. Everybody knows what this game and what you people are or were to him. And I just want to thank you guys so much. And not only did you guys help him, you are also helping me right now, because he didn't want anything for services or funerals or a waking or anything along those lines. And I get it and I understand that was him. But I think that you guys gave me the thing that I needed, the closure. So again, I just wanted to say thank you.
And for the thing that Pats hated the most was these damn costumes. He got so mad. If you're sitting down, I think you can't get a costume put on. So if you want to stand up and get a costume, and we're gonna take a photo and we're gonna post it just like he hated.
Yes, he did.
Do you want me to come
Almost
down
as
now?
much as this dropping him on the old dollar on hole.
Okay.
Yeah,
You want me to come down or you want me to stay up here?
you can come down. And Danielle, you'll always be a part of our family.
And you guys as well. You guys don't know how much you helped him with everything he was going on. This was his sanity. This is what I truly believe kept him going. Other than his granddaughter, this is what kept him going, is you guys in this game. And I don't understand it because I don't play. But I would say to him, oh, we gotta go do this. Nope, I'm raiding tonight. Don't forget, I'm raiding tonight. Don't forget, I'm raiding tonight. This was his sanity, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. He was very loyal to the group here, always helping. He was always after the good of the whole instead of the one.